Well, hello model car fans. Welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Revell, and here I am working on my Revell 70 Baldwin Motion Chevelle, and still mostly out of the box. Just changed out the wheels. I'll get to those here in a second, but just pretty easy stuff, some pre-assembly. You know, just started to put the motor together and put the seats together, the seat backs to the fronts, glued those together, and glued the axle together, the two pieces of the axle. So got them all glued together, just a little bit of pre-assembly, and then the fan shroud. So just some stuff like that, and then sat down and sprayed a whole bunch of stuff black. So chassis painted black. I did sand the copyright stuff off of there, the made in China and Team GM that was right here. So I did sand that off, and then painted all black. You know, there's of course lots of detail painting like the gas tank and maybe some of the stuff, but got all cleaned up. I didn't bother sanding this because you're not going to see it. But there's that, and it's all painted, and then the interior tub. And I don't know if the original had a tub style or if it was this way. It's been a long time since I built one. But this looks like it's going to be really easy to detail and paint and assemble. Got the dash painted. And I just got to do a whole bunch of the chrome highlights and stuff on it. It's pretty basic black interior. Same thing with the door panels. And I shot them. I just got to hit all the switches with chrome and a little bit of the chrome highlights, but that'll be simple and easy to detail. And a bunch of the little stuff like the wheel backs here and the pieces that they pivot on and slide in, and the really simple front suspension. And I'll just paint the steering linkages in the sway bar steel just to highlight them, make them stand out a little bit more. Nothing really to paint on the rear axle. And you know, fan, steering column, put that back over here, radiator hose, fan belts. I did paint that CB radio, it looks like, or EQ, or whatever this might actually be. It kind of looks like an under dash radio, so I'm pretty sure it's a CB, but it doesn't have the CB stuff on it. But this thing actually has on the chrome tree a gauge pack that goes on the bottom of the dash as well, so not really sure if I'm going to use that. Oh, and speaking of the chrome tree, here's the chrome. I had realized just a little bit ago that the center bar of the grill, that needs to be painted body color also, where the SS emblem is. So I guess I'm going to have to hand paint that. Try and get that to match, because really don't have much paint left and detailing that. So I think I'll brush paint that. And then these are like levers for the overdrive that he would use. Baldwin Motion would put on some of these. But the car itself doesn't actually have it. But they included the levers, and they're shown in the directions. So that's what those are. There's the SS wheels that I decided not to use. So I put those, you know, I left them on the tree. Put that back in the bag here. But I did raid my parts box and found these wheels, which is what I was thinking of. And I'm 90% sure these are from the Monogram 70 GTX. 2-in-1, which gives you the stock and these. So rated these. But they fit the tires and wheels just fine with the wheel backs, so there's no issue there, even though you can see right through them. But there's a lip on the inside here that you can kind of see. I think I'm going to paint that steel and I'll make it look more like the rotor, because you can see that through the wheel. So I think I'll paint it steel and it'll look like the brake rotor on just the two fronts. Done that before with the 69 Corvette, and it makes it look like the brake rotors. Then the headers are glued together, the two-piece headers, and then I spray painted these silver, and these things came out nice. These look really nice, so extremely happy with the way those are looking. And then also did the side pipes, of course, and working on a few other things. Here's the firewall piece that has the wiper motor, so that's pretty cool. It has all that, but haven't blacked any of that out. But I did work on the body. I did some sanding and cleaning up and priming So got this thing primed and taken care of, and then I just I had some Tamiya red mica, I forget the number, so I just sprayed it, spray painted it, and it laid down pretty nice. I pinned the mirrors and painted those. They're not glued in place, so they just come right out. So this thing is pretty much ready for clear. Put that back there. But I did have some issues with the decals. One, the light kind of shows it. It's got like this navy blue look. They're really not black. And then I decided to trim them short and paint the rear section black because it didn't look like it was going to line right up to the trunk edge and around here. So I decided I just trim the decals short and black out the whole back section. And I think that's going to work out pretty good. But when I did that, I also forgot to paint the rear valance. So I need to black this out with the same semi-gloss black I used down here. So I need to black this out and then clear the whole thing. But I'm hoping the clear takes out and hides some of the bubbling and wrinkling, because these decals, this one's not too bad, but I was just having a small amount of wrinkling and they just did not want to lay down for some reason. It just seemed like they didn't want to stick. And same thing back here. You can see there's wrinkling back here, getting it to go into the hinge portion, and then the roof really did it. You see that one? It just did not seem to want to lay down, and usually I can get them to lay down really good. I don't know if it's, you know, the Tamiya paint. I kind of doubt it, but I can't say I've used Revell decals with Tamiya paint before, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. And then they just seem to want to crack. I had to cut a slit in there to get it to lay down and fold in there, and then got all the motion decals on it. And there's 2 on the hood, you know, on the fender, so there's 5 of them. Put this one way over here instead of the directions say to put it like pretty much right on the trunk lock emblem. But on one of the cars I was looking at online, had it over here, and I like it over here. So I'm hoping once I lay the clear on this, it hides some of those imperfections, and it can. And then there's the engine compartment. And it was pointed out to me by somebody else. I've forgotten about the windshield washer bottles over here. That's not a coolant overflow bottle. And, you know, even on my Chevelle, hey, there's one there. It's just tired and wasn't thinking about it when I was looking at it. But yeah, that's the windshield washer bottle. And so that's pretty much ready for clear. But I just got to touch this up. I got to paint that black. This is pretty much ready. Pull the mirrors off in the hood and clear everything. And I started working on some of this stuff. So there's the steering wheel and the carburetor. Strip the chrome off of that. So a lot of this is going to be, you know, this one, I think I'm going to do it as a black rubber one, and then the chrome. May do it wood. I haven't decided yet on that. But none of this is really black. The torquer intake fits. Just made sure. When I glue these in place, I like to lay the intake in there, because I've had some where if you're not careful, sometimes the heads will spread out and then you'll have a little bit of a gap. So I make sure, and you can kind of see that one head's up a little higher than the other one, just kind of how it wants to lay down or glue, and sometimes that happens when I'm mocking it up. But once the intake's on there, you can't see any of that. But I'll paint the steel on the back of this, and just a lot more detail painting, and get some clear on this. So this one going fairly well. I just struggled with the decals a little bit, but it's moving along fairly fast, which I was kind of surprised. I didn't expect to do all of that painting in like one weekend, but kind of worked out that way. I was laying primer on this one and another one, and just kind of working them in the body work. And this one really didn't need much body work. Like I mentioned, it had the mold line here, and I had to sand that out and trying to keep the bulge there without flattening it out. And did a pretty decent job. Took the mold lines out of there. They're still kind of there, but they don't really stand out. But this one's just kind of not really going as smoothly as I'd like it to. But I'm pretty happy with the way the decals laid out and the placement and everything. I just wish I can get some of these bubbles out a little bit more. I'll probably do a little bit more setting solution and everything, but it just seems like it just does not want to work for me at the moment. But that's okay. I'll just deal with it and keep moving on. You know, once it's done, you guys will see it. It'll look pretty good, but it probably won't make it to a show. Most of my models don't make it to shows or get out of the house, and that's just the way it is. And I just build them for me and don't stress about too much trying to get it perfect. I mean, I'd like it better, but if that's the way it's going to go, that's the way it's going to go, and I'll put clear on it and we'll see what happens. It'll usually lay it out or hide it a little bit, especially on the flat surfaces like that where you can lay the clear on a little thicker in those areas. But I don't know, let's just keep working on this and playing with this, and didn't expect to get this far along so soon, but just some detail painting and assembly, and I'll have the interior and chassis done here real soon, and then some more highlights on that. So this one probably done fairly quickly, which, you know, wasn't quite expecting, but it's a simple kit, easy kit, and really doesn't fight you too much as far as fit and everything. So looking forward to getting it done. So thank you for tuning in, subscribing, and all your comments. I really appreciate it. And you guys, you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next Saturday.